welcome to the Popcorn Junkies. This is our review of the first episode of
The Last of Us.
Season 2. How many years has it been since Season 1? About 2?
Is it?
2 or 3? I'm sure it's been a while. Anyway, they've already commissioned Season 3 just off the back of Episode 1 of Season 2. So they think it's a success. Anyway, viewing figures for the first episode are 12% higher than the first episode of Season 1. So, The Last of Us. If any of you aren't aware of what this is, you won't be here, because it's based on the very famous video game franchise.
Yes, indeed.
Which I played only a little bit of the first ever game. Yeah, and got too scared. It was one of those experiences like watching the first episode of The Walking Dead on my own. I creeped myself out.
Yeah, I played a bit of the first one, but my boyfriend's played loves the first one, but he's not played the second one, which is obviously this season. So.
It stars Pedro Pascal. What are our feelings on him since the first? I
just love him so much. That face.
I just want to. His face is. You remember those toys you used to get where you put your fingers in the back of a squidgy thing and it was plastic, and you pull it around and their faces would go like that. He's got such a lovely face. You just want to go. I just want to get in there and just do that with it. Just want to with his face.
I look like Pedro Pascal as a baby.
Yeah, there is the rumor running around that perhaps Pedro.
Flag up the photo.
Yeah, we'll flag up the photo. I'll pick it up from my Instagram where. We took Maddie to Argentina when she was only 18 months and she looked just like Pedro Pascal.
Like him, guys. It's so weird. It's really, really weird.
Bizarre. It's shocking and bizarre. Of course, this also stars Bella Ramsey, who we originally came across in Game of Thrones. Really enjoyed them in Season 1 of The Last of Us. I mean, they were a real revelation, actually, weren't they?
Yeah.
And I think they just went from strength to strength.
And they came into it facing a lot of hate already because
of course,
they didn't look like the character.
What is wrong with people? And of course, that whole first season was very much Bella Ramsey plays obviously the character Ellie, and so of course it's that kind of Season 1 really set up that idea of it was an unlikely pairing, which became a sort of father-daughter type sort of surrogate parent thing.
Like tragic first episode when Pedro loses his actual
Oh my god. Now Season 1 had so many epic moments and it had sort of like episodes that really just stood out.
Yeah.
Like the one with Nick Offerman, is it? You know, the gay couple who lived together. That was sort of really excellent standalone shows. And I think it did a good job of doing that thing, and we will get onto this episode.
And the first episode of the first season was insane.
Oh, it was insane.
I mean, you saw it in the IMAX.
Of course. We went to the premiere of it. Of course we did. And they had the clicking sound and everything.
Oh, yeah, in the dark.
Yeah. I mean, I do think Season 1s of these things always have the joy of being able to kick off the infestation and the dystopia. And then you settle into it. And that's really where I think this Season 2 is probably under a bit of pressure.
Yeah.
Like The Walking Dead, we were huge fans of The Walking Dead, but after a while, after a while it just grinds.
I mean, luckily, the fucking creatures in this show are a lot scarier than the
slow-moving zombies. I
think with any kind of zombie, unless you're the Train to Busan zombies, you have to. It's quite difficult to keep the element of
exactly. What they've discovered in filmmaking is unless you speed them up massively, zombies are actually quite easy to deal with. I always thought that with Night of the Living Dead years ago, the George A. Romero film. I thought, just move fast.
You know, genuinely my toxic trait is thinking that I would survive a zombie apocalypse.
Oh. So you've
almost... I get you. And I'm like, easy, I could just outrun that. Die.
This is the thing, if these scenarios were to happen in real life, we're all sat here being
like, well,
come on, we'll do that. We'd last 1 minute. And of course, the thing is, it was not a game, so that would be the end of you.
Yeah.
You'd be wandering around as a zombie. So, really looking forward to returning to Pedro and Bella Ramsey's relationship, Ellie and Joel. As I say, it's been about 2 or 3 years since the last series. I might be completely wrong though. But the big thing at the end of Season 1, which I was reminded of and you reminded me of, and then we kind of get a recap at the beginning of Episode 1 of Season 2, is the fact that really Joel has fundamentally lied to Ellie.
Yes.
Because he's killed all the fireflies in the hospital to essentially rescue her, because the fireflies, not unreasonably...
We're going to use her... Well, we had to kill her in order to use her to maybe find a cure for this.
Is that an unreasonable thing to want as a civilization?
Not at all. But I think it's so clever because he's already has the trauma of losing his actual daughter that, he would rather keep her than... make the world better again.
He's essentially made the worst decision for mankind, but the best decision for his paternal longing.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Which is what makes the beginning of this show so tragically sad. in that their relationship was completely backfired and broken down. And he also said the big important line at the end, didn't he? What did he say? He promises her that he's not lying about...
Yeah, she asks, you promised me that what you said about the Fireflies was true, because what he was trying to tell her was that they were the bad guys.
Yes.
When they were...
Because
the thing is, that the thing that Ellie's always said, that what they were going to do to her, she always wanted that to happen. Like, she would rather die and save humanity than like...
That's right, and he said to her that she's not the only one that's immune.
Yes.
So that's how he talked to her. So it's a fundamental line. This is going to be interesting, isn't it? Because you're right, she wants to do the right thing for mankind.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. Anyway, so we start this episode at a graveyard. I presume it's the dead Fireflies, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all in the land.
And the bunch of people kind of standing around, which features the actress Caitlin Dever,
playing
Abby from Apple Cider Vinegar. Are they all Fireflies? Just Firefly sympathisers.
I think they're Fireflies, but also like, am I spoiling by saying this?
Let's spoil it. This is a spoiler review alert.
Abby's father was the doctor that Johnny murders, so she's effectively avenging her father.
See, at the beginning, I'm going to be really honest. On the first scene, I was a little bit worried. I thought, this ain't going to fucking...
No, same.
Oh, good. Yeah. I was like, is this going to be where the men... Please don't make the menace come from a group of fucking teenagers.
No, I know.
Oh, yeah. Please, this is Walking Dead fucking light.
Yeah, it did feel very HBO, like in a bad...
Didn't it? In a bad way, yeah.
But I do know what comes from that group of characters, and it's not disappointing. So, like, it will be fine, but it was bold to start the episode with them.
I thought it was quite underwhelming. Yeah. It was like The Lost Boys. I know they're huge fans of The Lost Boys, the vampire film, but what I suppose what kind of piqued my interest right at the end of that scene, where a part of me was sitting in the room where we were all watching it, going, this isn't top drawer, is it? Was when she said, not only are we going to kill him, we want to kill him slowly.
And we're like, hell no, get away from our man Pedro.
Yeah, bitch face. We're going to bitch slap you back into the grave. Don't know where that came from. And then
it's good though. It's a good conflict though, because I understand all sides.
Yes.
Her dad's been brutally murdered. Of course, she's going to want to kill her dad. Like.
Yeah, and the Fireflies want to rescue mankind.
I mean, they were the good guys.
Actually, Pedro's a baddie.
Technically,
he's a baddie.
But we don't care.
But we don't care.
He's not.
It's fucking Pedro Pascal. Pedro. So we go 5 years on, and what Pedro Pascal is one of those actors, men who just gets better as he gets older. They've aged him up. He's got greyer.
Yeah.
In 5 years, they're in this sort of fortress-like kind of town that he seems to be responsible for building all the buildings. And he's like, it's very Western. I like it's kind of Western.
Yeah, it's good.
I love a Western, love a modern Western. And he's kind of like chief builder. They're dealing with migrants, people trying to come in. I thought it was quite a nice sort of almost metaphor for that idea of America and migration and all that. And we meet Ellie for the first time since the last show.
We meet Dina.
Dina's great. Who's Dina played by? She's a cracking young actress, isn't she? Who's Dina? Isabela Merced. She's sensational. Though she looked like a miniature
Dad couldn't tell if she was like a full-blown adult or...
I could work out if they made her smaller digitally.
I know what you mean, is that she speaks she's quite mature.
So we meet Dina. We also meet Ellie having a fight. We think she's actually being beaten up. She's bleeding from her nose.
Yeah, we don't really know what's going on.
But she's actually doing sort of martial arts training and all that. She's a tough nut.
Yeah.
She's listening to Nirvana, isn't she, or something as well? Some fucking thrash metal in her strange room. She's got tattoos everywhere. You're proper pain in the arse.
Well, if we think about what happened to her in the last season, it was pretty brutal. Do you remember when men took her and then shipped her?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
She's been through a lot, and so it's not surprising that she's a bit fucked up. And she's a tough nut. She's into martial arts. She's into tattoos. She's got a swagger.
Yeah.
I like her. I like her swagger. Have you got a problem with her swagger?
A little problem.
Oh, tell us what the problem is, man.
It's not a problem with...
Forced? You don't believe it.
I just found her annoying in this episode.
Oh. I know what you mean.
I found her really, really annoying.
But was that because she wasn't nice to our Pedro?
It wasn't even just that. Like, obviously that was like... more upsetting to me, because I was like, stop talking to him like that. But she was just annoying me altogether with everything she did in the episode.
Oh, even her choice, even Bella Ramsey's choices as an actor, do you think, in terms of the role? Or just the character?
I think Ellie's just kind of annoying at this point.
Yeah.
But...
It's quite a risk though, isn't it, to make her very unlikable, Ellie?
Yeah, I think to start it, because I kind of have no reasoning with her right now.
Yeah,
I
totally
probably
agree.
should, because but I mean, as far as she's concerned, Joel's not actually, she doesn't know Joel's done anything that bad yet.
Yeah, she seems like she's really punishing him. And if she doesn't necessarily know all the truth,
why would you punish him that much?
And I think the episode tried to make a good fist of the idea, especially when we get to Catherine O'Hara, who I think was brilliant, his psychotherapist scene.
That scene was really
and I didn't realise, I thought he was giving her a bag of seeds to grow. So Joel is in therapy, which he's a bit embarrassed about, which I really like, because I don't tell anyone. And she's paid in weed, and she drinks hard liquor whilst therapizing him.
And we find out
that Joel killed her husband.
Her husband was one of the ones who murdered.
Imagine your psychotherapist fucking hating you. You know, you're not going to get the best.
She was great, 'cause she was like, I hate you, but I've said something I'm scared to say now, and I will listen to you, I promise.
I loved his line where he said, hang on though, you're my therapist, aren't you supposed to give me validation?
Yeah.
I love that. It was a great little kind of moment there.
Yeah, it was really
about the kind of pointlessness of psychotherapy, really.
Yeah.
She drinks whiskey, she's hard hit. But anyway, they tried to, and that scene, the lovely scene between Dina, played by Isabela Merced, and Joel, where she kind of comes in and sort of talks to him about his relationship with her.
Because then he
Ellie.
says in his therapy session that like she treats me like I'm a human, and
yes,
that Dina treats
Dina
me like
does.
a human, and Ellie doesn't even look at him.
But then Catherine O'Hara says, are you trying to really tell me that you've got a fucking problem here when it's just that you've got a 19-year-old essentially daughter acting the same way as a daughter? This is classic dad-daughter
I don't know,
shit.
It's a bit more than every 19-year-old, right? I don't know if I was that mean.
No, you weren't. but yeah, no, I mean, it seems unnaturally harsh.
Yeah, unfairly harsh.
It's interesting that you say that you found Ellie just irritating.
I think Mum and Kiki did as well.
Right, they just.
But it was just like, I think the problem with it, if you think about it, in terms of the plot from the game, you are playing Ellie.
Yes.
So actually, or is it something weird in the?
Maybe you're playing Joel.
I think the first one you're Joel and the second one you're Ellie, yeah. It's quite difficult because obviously if you're game playing, then the characters are put in situations where you're going to have to like...
Right.
I guess when watching the show, you're like, well, that's just stupid, why are you doing that? But in the game, in terms of needing the plot, if you're the game playing character, for example, falling through the ceiling and then walking around when you were told to stay put is something in a game that would be normal, and they're going to have to do it in the show. But when watching it, I was just like, why are you going in? Why are you walking around? Why are you being so annoying? She just seems so full of herself as well when they went off into the...
Well, that makes, it leads us to that. So the reconnaissance trip where they head off, she was fucking annoying me then. And
she was just a bit like...
Yeah.
I'm going to get that. And I was just like, ooh, what?
Calm down. Don't get too big for your boots.
Yeah, a bit too big for your boots, Ellie.
Yeah, just because you think you're immune and you're a bit cocksure. But maybe, and I hope maybe we'll see a bit of warmth come from, because I think it is a bold...
I think she's been...
Yeah.
Bitten again.
Yeah, well, bitten again, but that doesn't necessarily...
No, that might mean she'll reel her in a bit, because she was just kind of acting all a bit like...
But she's still immune, so she might still be cocky.
But you don't want to be caught with a bite wound. Not everybody knows she's immune.
Oh, so she knows no one knows she's immune, but she still thinks other people...
Dina was like, did you get bitten? Do I have to shoot you in the head? Yeah.
Oh, you know what's going to happen there. There's going to be a sex scene where she's kissing her. And then she's going to see the bite. Oh, no, she's not going to see the bite marks.
She disguised it. But it still didn't disguise it very well. I mean, she cut through it around it in a bite shape.
She was making a right old meal of it, wasn't she? It was like, come on, do a proper V or something. do a firefly sign or something like that. Yeah. No, I found... Okay, well, where the horror in this episode, you get a little moment at the front where she's out sort of training how to use her sights on her rifle and she blows the brains out of a clicker. I felt sorry for that clicker.
Me too, just finding it so...
You're just eating something, you know, don't you? And then they head off on a reconnaissance mission, find a great big fucking bear. That's had its intro.
Yeah.
I like that little sort of tableau. It was like a little still life. Yeah. And then but you're right, it's interesting.
I was kind of hoping a clicker was going to crawl out of its
So did I. Yeah, like Leonardo DiCaprio in The River.
Yeah.
Except he was in a horse. And then you got
beaten up by the bear.
That's right. That's right. He gets raped by a bear. Doesn't he?
I wasn't confirmed. You always said that, but I never saw that happen in the film.
No. So it's interesting that you should say, why did they go in? That whole scene where they arrive at the bear, and you had even the leader of the kind of reconnaissance mission, who was that woman who was utterly ineffective, said, don't go in there. Are you going to let them go in there?
I'll give them
5. They felt like NPCs, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They literally, like, they were sort of glitching.
Yeah, they were like NPCs.
And so when they went in, maybe that is where the game, adaptation side of things tugs against the logic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying this, but I don't know if that bit's like even in the game or something. But,
right. But you're
when
right.
I was watching, am I unfairly being annoyed by her? Is it like they have to do this in order to have a plot?
I was really warming to Dina. I mean, it's an interesting introduction because I found Dina really, I kind of really related to her.
But that's what I mean. It was weird because even Dina was like a bit cocky with that bit, but I didn't find her as annoying.
Yes. What you're saying is you didn't. I kind of wanted Ellie to die. If I'm honest.
Yeah, I did a little bit of that.
In that scene, I thought, you've been so cocky, you deserve to be eaten. But I have to, let's talk about that horror scene, because we were all on the edge of our seats. It was very effectively done, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was weird, because obviously every other time that we've seen the clickers, they make the clicking sound. And this thing wasn't doing that. So
it wasn't
like,
just your standard
crawling
clicker.
Around like an animal.
Your mum, Nadia
Mum was like, it's an animal.
Oh, yeah, she kept...
No, it's not.
Nadia, you don't know this universe. It's not just a fox.
She was like, it's just an animal. And I was like, it's got a human head. How's an animal?
And it's moving in a creepy fashion.
It's definitely a...
What zoo have you been to?
It's because she didn't see the first shot and then she's trying to act like she'd seen it.
Yeah, she was fucking on her phone. Yeah, she looked up at the wrong moment and said it was nothing. She's trying to protect Kiki. She doesn't realise Kiki's beyond the age of being scared now.
She's seen it all. Right?
She's seen everything. But I thought that whole scene was really good, and I think the really important thing that they introduced into this, it was a clicker, or semi-clicker, someone on the way.
What they're trying to argue is it was a
smart,
an intelligent one.
Because when she got back to the kind of Lord of the Rings like
that was
meeting in a kind of where the fuck have this lot come from? What did you find out there, girl? Well, it kind of was tracking me. Oh, so they... It
was weird though, because it was making a clicking sound, but it was what was really horrible, like before we properly saw its like face or whatever, is it just sounded like somebody in pain.
Yes.
Because don't they say...
It's a bit stickier than normal.
They said in the... I heard like in the game and everything, some clickers... it actually might just be all of them, are actually never not conscious, like they're still the person unable to control themselves. So it's just that.
So they're sort of in the driving, so they're sort of sat there not being able to do anything.
Yeah, so there are points in the game where you'll pass a clicker and it's crying while it's eating because it's not wanting to eat the food.
Oh no, a bit like Chi-Chi with her toy. She can't help but bite it.
Yeah, but it's like really dark. So I guess what they're playing on that is that she's still not even fully turned, so she's still clearly that.
But I do like this idea. So they've evolved slightly. Could they be stalking them? Could these clickers have more sort of agency, if you like?
Yeah.
They're just wandering around stupidly. I mean, that is the problem with most of these kind of Walking Dead apocalyptic type things. Is if they're just you just kind of put up a wall and bits of spikes and you sort it. You know what I mean? And that is always for me the worry with it. For me with this is that I love the Walking Dead to begin with, but you get used to it quite quickly.
Yeah.
But we all really like that scene. It was a really effective action horror scene.
But I maybe would argue that I found it more convincing before I saw its face.
What? Is there always the danger that when you've seen a face,
I think I'm being really picky, guys.
But how much worse can it get? Okay, then we move to a final scene as a sort of New Year's party.
So she got bit.
She got bit, and that's the most important bit.
What
in all the melee and madness? I thought it was a very neat bite.
Very neat bite. I was thinking that. It's not even like
perfect set of gnashes.
It was just like...
It was like an accident. Oh, sorry. It wasn't really a sort of situation. Yeah. Especially when you look at the fucking grizzly. He's had his guts disemboweled. But she goes like, like a love bite. Anyway, she goes and has a go at it. Then Joel wanders in and sees that her fucking guitar strings are rusty. And you feel like, go sort it out yourself, you miserable little cow. You're so cheeky. And that was really the only moment we had the two of them together in a scene, wasn't it?
Well, apart from when she showed him to fuck off, which was a very nice evening.
So he comes in, smash it. So they go to the New Year's party. I was getting total fucking The Hobbit vibes from this scene.
It was feeling like we were in a little Hobbit hole, right?
I loved it. It made me want to be small, well, kind of small, and I wanted to be smaller, and I wanted to live with people that are in a locked-in community. I think I just don't like the world anymore, and I just want to be safe with people drinking and she gets a bit fresh and frisky with Dina. Dina gets frisky with her.
Well, I'd say that Dina got fresh and frisky with
Dina was drunk.
Dina was crossfaded.
What is it with all Dinas and alcohol? It doesn't mix. So yeah, they got, but I mean, but they were very much in the middle of the dance floor.
Yeah, it was a bit like, come on, you know, guys, like it's a family affair.
I thought his first.
So you know what? The first part of his what he was saying was pretty fair.
His first complaint was rational.
And then he went.
And then he called him dykes.
Then he went off the rails.
He went off the rails, and at that point, good old fucking Joel. Punches them. Why would you get angry with him? Why did she get angry with him?
Why would you shout him in front of everyone? That's so humiliating. Maybe take him off to the side and be like, Dad, you embarrassed me. But you don't go like, I don't need your fucking help.
Get out! Get out and look after yourself. You treat this place like a hotel.
Yes, she does.
She's living in the garage with all her stuff around her. The weird thing about that, all that stuff. But Pedro, at that moment, delivered us what was almost like a Puss in Boots moment.
Yeah, it was.
He's like, oh, Pedro.
Oh God! So, if I see him, whenever I see those eyes start tearing up, I want to punch someone.
Yeah.
And I wanted to punch Ellie.
Do you think it must have been? I think it must have been a strategy because by the end of this episode, I fucking hated Ellie, and I hope she dies.
No,
and I thought, Joel, kill her.
I think it's supposed to be conflicting. Like it's supposed to be like.
But I do think they have a problem.
Because they had such beautiful moments together in season 1, so we know that they're.
I think it was a misstep though to give us not a shred of empathy from her towards her, not even a moment. She didn't even have a. You know when she walked. You know when she walked past him when he was sort of sat on the veranda with the guitar.
Yeah, she just stared at him. She was
like, there wasn't even a beat of. I really want to connect with you.
I don't think there is in the game. I don't think she gives him any benefit of the doubt.
Well, I think that's a wrong character move, if I'm really honest, because I came out of this not really caring about her at all.
Me neither, but I don't know if that's because our love for Pedro is so strong, but I can't imagine that anybody else would feel differently than us.
No. There was a really curious cutaway shot. Did you see it? I mean, I love Catherine O'Hara, but there was a moment...
Oh, yeah, it was too much.
I felt they'd shot it 6 months later.
Yeah, it was too much.
Let's get a cutaway of it.
Yeah, no, it was way too much.
But it was like...
She's just still drinking.
She may as well have had like a bigger...
It just felt like they copy and pasted her from the therapy session into the party.
It was a bit strange. But we had a moment which kind of... Well, 2 moments right towards the end where we see like a sparkler or something's dropped on the floor. And we get like really...
Earlier on in the episode, we'd seen that all the pipes are filled with
brambles,
sticks
roots,
and stuff.
dried roots.
Which obviously is how like the cordyceps travel. And then somebody fucking drops a sparkler right bang in front of the pipe. So now all the cordyceps are coming into the community.
Through the underground pipes, which looks quite neat. I think it's quite nice, but you should never play with sparklers,
You
kids.
always must know that when you're watching a zombie apocalypse show, if they've got a community, it's going to go down in flames.
Regardless
of Walking Dead, when just all the fucking walls fell and they all just came in.
Yes, suddenly, regardless of if you've got walls with spears and all that kind of shit.
It's just going to come crumbling.
And we also had a final shot of some of the kind of other guys. That lovely actor who I like from Beef, who we all have a soft spot for. They're all sort of looking out into the distance, and you see lights kind of bobbling in the middle distance.
No, that wasn't him.
Or was that not him?
It was the bunch from the start that were going to kill them all.
Oh, what were they looking at?
At them, the community.
Oh, I see. So that was their POV.
It was the people from the start that are going to kill them all. So look in, and she's like, there they are.
They've got a bit of a chat. So I would say I enjoyed it, and it was nice to be back with everyone. But on balance, I would say I needed more. I still don't want the threat from the woman from apple cider vinegar. That's not doing it for me. I need more than a sort of pipe. Underground pipe.
No, that's going to be really cool.
Is
Deep,
it?
How crazy that's going to be.
It's going to go up their bums in the toilets.
No, I mean, it just means that they infiltrate from the inside.
Yes, they're not going to know. Well, the thing is, though, people change really quickly, so you do know. You just hear them clicking. They do move quite fast, though, the clickers, don't they? Which is quite good.
They do. And do you remember when there was the big fat chunky one in season 1?
Oh, they do take it to other levels. That's right. Yeah. Yes, they do. So
and remember there was the bit where they thought they were fine, and then they all like came out of the ground.
Yes. Oh God, yes. Like an ant's nest.
The thing is, they're fungus. Don't forget, so they spread like crazy, which is why the pipe thing is scary.
Oh, there is. Yeah, this is beyond just walking humanoids.
Yeah.
Were you happy with episode 1?
I not completely.
No, I wasn't.
But it is the first episode of the second season. There has to be a bit of like setting us up for what comes later on in the...
Are you disappointed there's only 7 episodes?
Is there only 7?
Fucking hell, I think it's a joke.
Wait, how many were there last time?
Wait this long. I think there were 10 in the first. This is a fucking joke, guys. And the first episode, it set the scene, but fucking... I think
quite a lot happens in this as well, though.
Okay.
So maybe it's all happening per episode and we're more...
Fundamental mistake making Ellie really unlikable.
Yeah, but I don't even know if that's the show's mistake because
maybe it's
kind of early in the game.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say I don't want to say disappointed because I don't want it to sound like I was just disappointed because I wasn't, but I definitely was a bit like, I didn't get much from that.
Yeah. I wasn't left super excited at the end. I mean, I am excited about where it will go. I'm pleased it's over.
Yeah, that's more the thing. I'm more like, okay.
Yeah, I'm pleased it's over. Yeah, I've settled in.
Okay, we're settled.
Settled in. Let's just forget that.
Go.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Let's go now.
Yeah, all right. I'd give it 75, actually, out of 100.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite low.
Yeah. Yeah, very so.
I actually think I'll give a similar rating.
Yeah. I want a bit more from Joel as well. I thought we just saw him sat behind a desk a lot.
Yeah, we did.
It's weird.
I loved what I saw of him, but I want to see more.
Okay, bring it on next Monday, please.